Hello! Okay, so in this video, I am going to be taking you through the step-by-step of how to add eyelets into fabric. So I'll be using the example of a top, but over the years I've added them into clothing, I've added them into shoes, I've added them into curtains, so you really can use this to add them into any sort of fabric. If you want to see how to add eyelets into fabric, then stick around. So to add eyelets, you'll firstly need a piece that you're working on that you'd like to put the eyelets into. I've done shoes previously, but today it will be the back pieces of a top. Then you've got all of your tools. So you've got a pen or pencil, some scissors, measuring tape, a hammer, so this is my mallet for shoemaking, a hole punch that goes through fabric, and an eyelet kit. So this can be any size, whatever eyelets you've chosen that will work for your design. But I would always recommend getting a kit because it comes with tools to help put them in. If you are buying the same sized eyelets and you already have a kit, then no worries. But yeah, I always find a kit is super useful to have. And then a little test piece as well of the same fabric that you're going to be hole punching and putting the eyelets into. Firstly, I'm just going to lay out where I roughly think I want my eyelets, and that will determine how many I have and also how far apart they are in terms of spacing. So I have 12 eyelets laid out. I'm just going to measure up the distance I have, 24.6. So I'll divide that by the 12 and see how far apart each eyelet should be. Okay, they should be about 2 centimeters apart. So to give me a 2 centimeter gap, I'm going to measure from the top of the other eyelet that I just put in to the midpoint of the next eyelet, which is 3 centimeters. So what I'll do is mark up on the other side, because if I get this wrong, it doesn't matter if I've marked up just the other side. So I will be spacing them. As I said, it's about 3 centimeters from the top point of the first one to the middle of the second. Another way of measuring up and marking out is to mark where you want your top eyelet to be, your bottom eyelet, and then divide roughly how many eyelets you've laid out and want by that number. So what I did was mark the top eyelet and the bottom, divide these by 10, which actually has given me 11 eyelet points, but that's totally fine. So they're all evenly spaced. I'm going to put in my first hole punch and my last hole punch after I test it on my tested piece of fabric, and then I can add in the rest. So now I'm going to do a quick tester on my sample piece of fabric. Then I will hole punch all of my holes, add in my eyelets, and then what I'll do is flip that over and then mark out exactly where this other side should be now that I'll have, holes that I can put my pencil directly through, which will mean this is exactly the same as my other side. And just checking that that was the right size in the hole punch, which it is. That is perfect. And then I'm just going to do a little tester so that I know exactly how I'm punching them in and I don't get it wrong, or mark up the fabric with any of the metal. Sometimes the metal comes off a little bit or rubs and it kind of stains the fabric, which I definitely don't want. To add in my eyelet, I've got the hole I just punched, one side of the eyelet. I then take this little tool that came in my kit, place it on the eyelet I just pushed through my fabric. I make sure all the fabric is around the side of it again. Add on my washer over the top. So this is also in the kit. And then I add the other piece on top, bang it a few times. And then that is my finished eyelet. All right, and that is all of my holes hole punched in. Now I'm gonna get to adding in my eyelets. So as I said, I've got my eyelet just pushing it through the layers of fabric. There's quite a few because I did add some interfacing. I'm flipping that over, putting it onto my little stand here and making sure that the groove of the front of the eyelet sits in that, like so. I'm putting my little washer groove side up, so bumpy, ridgy side up, and then I am taking this little tool, pushing that on, giving it a few hammers, and then flipping it over and seeing the eyelet all in. Okay, and my first side of eyelets is all done. Now I am just lining up those eyelets onto my other side. Again, making sure where I'm touching with my pencil is on a side you won't see. I'm just making sure that dot is right in the middle so I know exactly where to hole punch. And that's the other side all done as well. Time to thread my tie through. Okay, and this is what the finished eyelets look like. I'm gonna add my tie and then I will keep working on this top and show you the final results. All right, I just bought this kind of very simple piece of tie.
Sunset Boulevard with you, and I just want to take one more bite of everything and every avenue. Like cold drinks, summer nights. Let's get a little too drunk. Are you down?
Okay, and that is my finished top with my eyelets all added in. I hope you found this step-by-step helpful and can apply it to your own projects. And as per usual, I'll see you in the next video.